A couple weeks after I boldly stated that The Weeknd was the artist of the decade, he released his fifth studio album, Dawn FM. Did The Weeknd start this new era with a disappointing body of work? That's not possible. It's The Weeknd. Is it better than After Hours? Let's have a conversation. The album begins with a heavenly instrumental. It quickly becomes eerie when Jim Carrey begins to narrate. Its sole purpose is to build the world we the listeners have just entered into. We have just died and now we are stuck from transitioning into the next stage of the afterlife. Now we are forced into listening this radio program, Dawn FM. Quick and easy, that's how The Weeknd has set up this concept album for his audience to see the album as a radio program, and with radio jingles and smooth transitions to the next song really add to the world he has built. Gasoline, How Do I Make You Love Me, Take My Breath, and Sacrifice are all upbeat dance songs. You can't help but get lost into the amazing transition of How Do I Make You Love Me and Take My Breath, just hypnotic. The extended version of Take My Breath really makes me appreciate the song more, since it was the first song and music video to be released to promote the album. To be honest, if the album ended here, I would be satisfied. With Gasoline, How Do I Make You Love Me, Take My Breath, and Sacrifice, their main job is to get the listener lost into the upbeat instrumentals. The interlude, A Tale by Quincy, slows the album down, almost giving the listeners a breather from all the dancing. Also changing the tone of the album, giving it a more retrospective light. A Tale of Quincy is Quincy Jones giving us an insight into his childhood, explaining that the lack of a motherly figure really affected him as a child. He didn't know how to foster healthy relationships among friends, family, and romantic partners. Just an old man looking back on his life, where he asks a rhetorical question. Looking back is a bitch, isn't it? Forgive me if I'm about to ramble. The only music video I've watched is Take My Breath. Since when I decided to review the album, I didn't want the music videos to change or affect my own interpretation of the album. But I believe Quincy's story might be similar to Abel's, where he doesn't really know how to foster healthy relationships, especially with women. Since trilogy days, we know this guy can be toxic. It could just be his persona, but I believe there's a hint of truth to it. It would explain the album cover, an old man looking back at his life and not being happy with it. A Tale of Quincy not only slows down the album, but it changes the theme of a more reflective tone, speaking about his life experiences and of course his list of regret.
And now a word from our sponsor.
The next track, Out of Time, is a slow and mellow song where The Weeknd is looking back on his failed relationships, realizing he has been cold to persons who have loved him, and now he has realized his mistake, but is unable to set things right because this lady has moved on. He's out of time, or he's out of time because he's dead. And here, Jim Carrey enters, reassuring us that we have passed, and that all we have to do is to be patient until we reach a little light at the end of the tunnel. Then he says something very interesting. Soon we'll be free from all the trauma, pain, guilt, and shame. Interesting because those are the themes of the slow songs on the album. Here we go again. Best Friends, Is There Someone Else, Starry Eyes, Don't Break My Heart, and I Heard You Were Married all have one or more of these themes. For example, in I Heard You Are Married consists of 4 themes. Trauma and pain for being deceived by a married woman in having a fling or relationship with him. Even though The Weeknd has done some bad things in his life, he still feels shame and guilt with sleeping with a married woman, showing that he is indeed redeemable. Then this amazing track, Less Than Zero, begins, an upbeat song that just screams a major hit. I can't wait to see the music video for this song. It's so vibrant and happy, but somehow has a really sad meaning behind it. I can't explain it. But this song has The Weeknd letting go of his pain, trauma, shame, and guilt. He is finally accepting his fate, and he finally is at peace. Then the outro, Phantom Regret, a therapeutic monologue tying up the album beautifully. Jim Carrey explaining you gotta be heaven to see heaven shows that heaven is within us all. To be truly at peace, you have to forgive yourself and others around you. The strength and wisdom to forgive is what makes us get closer to heaven. That is what it means to be made in the image of God. Because the greatest gift God has given us is forgiving us of our sins. Is Dawn FM a better album than After Hours? Yes. I still listen to both albums, but I quickly realized that I only listen to After Hours for specific songs, since it's a more single-driven album. While for Dawn FM, I listen to the whole album more because it has a unique concept as a radio program, and if I play only the songs I like, I won't get to understand, appreciate, or enjoy the album as it's made to be listened to as a 1-hour program. Thanks for watching.